But physiologically, how do you view preeclampsia and its treatment?
When I first was interested in biology, I saw that preeclampsia was one of the most dogmatic areas of medicine. And until fairly recently, about 30 years ago, almost all doctors were taught that it is a genetic related disease, sort of intended to kill off poor people, because poor people had a very high incidence of preeclampsia and other pregnancy-related problems. And the idea was that the mother's nutrition had nothing to do with the development of the baby. Bad genes in the baby were possibly poisoning the mother, was a theory. But Tom Brewer, a medical doctor who happened to actually study nutrition, was instrumental in gradually, over a period of 30 years, changing that medical dogma. It still isn't very clearly understood, but two people influenced by him were Douglas Shanklin and Jay Hoden, who wrote a book about, I guess, 40 years ago now, called Maternal Nutrition and Child Health. And Tom Brewer had found that just having the women salt their food to taste and drink at least a quart, maybe 2 quarts of milk a day, but to definitely get 80 grams or more of protein per day. And he said that what was currently popular at that time for controlling the blood pressure of eclampsia related to the idea that blood pressure in anyone with hypertension could be controlled by restricting salt. And that idea was promoted by the drug industry when they came out with diuretics that were supposed to cure blood pressure by causing you to lose salt in the urine. So that was applied unscientifically to the high blood pressure of preeclampsia, and it was killing and causing defects in the babies by starving their brains, by reducing the blood volume. And Tom Brewer observed that a farmer who restricted the sodium for his pregnant pigs would soon go out of business.
Right.
But it took a long time to stop that sort of barbaric pharmaceutical instigated practice. The book by Shanklin and Hoden cited some studies in which the only intervention was to supplement sodium several grams extra a day, and those studies showed that in some cases just increasing the amount of salt in the diet was enough to correct the blood pressure by increasing the volume of fluid and blood so that there was enough blood in circulation to properly oxygenate the fetus. And with proper oxygenation, then the kidney could regulate things so that the production of aldosterone decreased. Salt intake is directly related to the suppression of aldosterone, which increases blood pressure. So when you restrict salt, you increase aldosterone, which increases blood pressure.
Right.
In Tom Brewer's approach, since he recommended milk a couple quarts of milk a day and fruit, vegetables. He was also increasing, on average, their calcium and vitamin D intake, and those happen to be very protective for blood pressure in general, and especially in preeclampsia.